You're fired." Those 2 words destroyed her life. Standing in the CEO's office with tears burning in her eyes, Emily Parker had begged him to hear her out. But Adrian Cole, cold as ice, didn't blink. "You're careless. I don't need people like you," he said, never knowing she was carrying his child. She walked out with a broken heart and an unborn baby. He walked away without a second thought. 3 years later, fate cornered him in a grocery store where a little boy with Adrian's storm gray eyes tugged at Emily's shirt and called her mommy. Adrian froze, because those were his eyes. Adrian Cole never believed the past could walk back into his life. Not after he'd buried it so expertly under money, power, and the noise of $1 million schedule. But that night, standing in the fluorescent glow of a late-night grocery aisle, his world split open. He wasn't supposed to even be there. His driver had the night off, and Adrian, irritated by a migraine and an empty fridge, had walked in just wanting bottled water instead. He saw her, Emily Parker, the woman he once dismissed like she was nothing, standing beside a toddler who couldn't be more than 3, the toddler who had his eyes, his exact eyes. And she saw him too. Emily froze, fingers gripping the shopping basket so tightly the handles shook. Her breath hitched, her pulse jumped, and for a moment she felt 3 years collapse into a single punch of memory. The office, the insult, the firing, the humiliation, the pregnancy she'd faced alone. Emily. Adrian's voice was low, sharper than he meant, confused but unmistakably shaken. Emily swallowed hard. She had promised herself she'd never fall apart if she ever saw him again, but this him, seeing the child, this she wasn't ready for. The boy tugged at her coat. "Mommy juice." His tiny voice shattered everything. Adrian stared at the kid like someone had sucked all the air out of him. His breath wavered. His eyes darkened. "Is he?" He couldn't finish the sentence. "Didn't dare." Emily stepped slightly in front of her son, protective instinct roaring through her. "What are you doing here?" she asked, voice steady even though her heart trembled. Adrian blinked. "I needed water." The boy peeked from behind her leg, and those eyes, God, those eyes. Thunder gray, flecked with silver. Adrian's exact mirror. "What's your name, buddy?" Adrian whispered, unable to stop himself. Emily's spine straightened. You don't get to talk to him?" A punch of guilt hit him unexpectedly, but he pushed it down like he always did. "Emily, just tell me." His voice cracked barely, but it did. She didn't want this moment, didn't want this past, didn't want this man, but fate wanted something else. Flashback. 3 years ago, Emily had loved Adrian, quietly, silently, deeply. He didn't know. He never noticed. She was an overworked assistant working late nights, arranging flights, fixing his chaos. He was the brilliant, ruthless CEO who didn't even look up when she placed files on his desk. Until the one night he did. A night of too much work, too much closeness, and too little protection. The next week, when she was late to work because she fainted on the subway, Adrian didn't ask if she was okay. He just fired her, cold, efficient, heartless. "You're careless." "Emily," he'd said, "I don't need people who slow me down." Those words cut deeper than he'd ever know. She didn't tell him she was pregnant. He didn't deserve to know. Back to present. Adrian stepped closer, lowering his voice so the child wouldn't hear. "Emily, I need to know the truth." She shook her head. "You don't get to need anything from me." His jaw tightened. "Is he mine?" Silence stretched. The air thickened. Emily wanted to scream, fight, cry, but she did none of it. Instead, she whispered, "His name is Noah." Adrian's chest caved. "Noah," he repeated, tasting the name like it was holy. Emily swallowed. "He's 3. He loves dinosaurs, and chocolate chip pancakes, and bedtime stories. Everything you never cared about." Adrian flinched, actually flinched. A man who could stare down billion-dollar negotiations, reduced to breathless guilt in a grocery aisle. "Emily," he breathed, "why didn't you tell me?" Her eyes burned. "Because the last thing you said to me was that I wasn't good enough to keep my job." "What made you think you were good enough to be a father?" That shattered him. He stepped back, like the weight of her words physically hit him. "I was wrong," he whispered. "I was God. I was a different person then. I didn't know. I didn't understand. If I had known, but you didn't," she cut sharply, "and we survived without you." Noah tugged again. "Mommy, can we go?" Emily forced a smile. "Yes, sweetheart, let's go." She started walking away. But Adrian couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't accept watching his blood walk out the door. "Emily, please," he choked out. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just asking for a chance." She paused. "Just a heartbeat. No more." "That's not how life works, Adrian," she said softly. Not after everything. And she walked out, Noah's tiny hand in hers, leaving him in an aisle full of bottled water, drowning in regret. But as the doors slid shut, Noah glanced back. Their eyes met. And Adrian knew he wasn't losing his child. Not again. Not without a fight. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional millionaire CEO times, single mom dramas. Your support helps these stories reach more viewers who love second chances, heartbreak, and powerful reunions. Tell me in the comments, should Adrian fight for Noah and for Emily, or has he lost his chance forever? Stay tuned for the next emotional, addictive love story.